and David and their wives and their children, unbelievable Mesiras Nefesh, and the Einiklach, Jay and Shani, and the others, and the friends that used to visit. But he didn't live in the old age home. He didn't live in the assisted living. Erev gelebt in Atvatsk. He lived in Varsha, he lived with the Rebbes, the Rayats, and others. This is what he was all about. You say at a levaya, Mach Hashem Dimam al Kopanim. When Yudi passed away, we were very nervous. How are we going to break the news to him? I tell you, the strongest one in the family was him. And he would tell his granddaughter, Shanalem Medaf Shmeichelen. That's what he would say. He said, Medaf Shmeichelen, you have to laugh. You have to smile and you have to laugh. So, I don't think it's necessary to say, Mach Hashem Dimam al Kopanim. He lived with a smile. He lived by giving other people smiles. That's what his whole existence was. At 90 years old, he had a sense of humor of a teenager. At 90 years old, he had chassidus burning within him like a frisch younger man. As if he just got married and the Rebbe just benched him with some unbelievable bracha. That's how lebedik he was. When it came to a niggin, when it came to a vart, when it came to a piece of chassidus. And this is why I certainly could say this about myself. It was a tremendous kavod and a tremendous chus that I had to get a bracha from this Jew. And to be in his proximity, and to have epis vas chassidus from this person, and that's why we're all here tonight. It's not divrei hesped, this is divrei Osiris. The Rebbe's bracha finished by Rabbi Mitzvah at 90, but we're here tonight, and it says in the Swan, when you come to levaya, the Oiris and the bracha of this person, it goes out, and everybody here tonight can chop around a little bit from the bracha of the Rebbe Rayatz. And all the great things, the nisim that this individual had throughout his life, is a tremendous opportunity that we're here tonight. The Rabbeinu Shalom should give us all kayach to continue. We should learn from his incredible ways. We should nash and we should be nourished from this man's fire of chassidus and Torah. And Amir Hashem, he should go before the Kisa HaKavod, and he should beg that his children, his Einiklach, his Ur-Einiklach, they should continue in his way of Chassidus and Torah, Yerushalayim, the Musaf Kedusha that he had, it's impossible to find today. A Pasha to Yid was gelebt with the Rabbeinu Shalom. This was Rabbi Yitzchak Garfinkel Zechron Levracha. It should be a schus for all of us. Mach Hashem Dimam al Kopanim.
As Rabbi Feuer mentioned, Avram Yitzchak was 90 years old. He lived a very, very full life, although not without Agnes Nefesh. When, as Rabbi Feuer mentioned, he carried with him the bracha of his Yedidim, of the Rebbe, Zechron Levracha, and Arichas Yomim is a bracha for the person who has it, but in this particular case, Arichas Yomim was a bracha for all the people who knew him, and all the people who learned with him, and all the people who owe him a debt, including myself, to enhancing our lives with his Torah, and as Rabbi Feuer mentioned, his slavus for Chassidus, and his slavus for Limud HaTorah. Reb David also mentioned to me that when we used to talk, there was a tkufa, a number of tkufas, where all of us thought that, unfortunately, that the story was about to end. And the Rebbeinu Shalom gave frish and naya koiches, and Reb David mentioned a particular mesiba where he got together with a number of Chavrai and Chabad, and it was a moiradiki hisoiris, I was told, because it was like a new ruach had been given to him, because his life was so tied to the Rebbe's, it was so tied to Chassidus, it was so tied to his Talmidim, and it was an amazing thing, once again, chutz l'derech hateva, to see. So his Arichas Yomim was for us to a great extent. It was a bracha for him, but it was perhaps even a greater bracha for us. We asked Rabbi Demilsky to come forward to share some divrei zikaron for Rabbi Mitzvah.
As it was mentioned, that It's not the place for a spredim, especially not among Chassidim. So I would like to follow according to a minhag that there is in Chabad at such occasions. Instead of talking about the individual or eulogizing the individual, we say a kapitel Tillim. And it's our custom to say the kapitel Tillim that is according to the age of the individual, and also the kapitel Tillim of the Rebbe. So I asked everyone to please follow me in kapitel Tzadik Aleph, which in fact is a kapitel Tillim which is said on Motzei Shabbos all over the world. It's called Shir Shal Goyim. The kapitel of Yeshiva Seisa, which is kapitel Tzadik Aleph.
Page 89.
Yeshiva Seisa Elyon, Zer Shabbos Yisrael. Moim Adon Machsi Mutzudosi, Heyaf Tavoy. Huy Atzechim Shab Yokosh, Yedeva Havash. Rossi Yotzulov, Sach Tzilem Betach. Tzilem Tzachera Mitri. Tzilem Ipachat Loilo, Mechet Tzilov Yemen. Yedeva Boit Vayale, Meketa Yoshua Tzoroyim. Yibo Mitzitcha, Elev, Urupofim Menachem. Elocha Lo Yidosh. Rak Menecha Sabe, Shimur Zishoyim Tira. Kato Adonai Machsi, El Yasantim Menecha. Vesuna Elecha Roha, Menega Oyika Bolecha. Ki Malacha Yitzavogo, Mishmocha B'chod Rechecha. Akapayim Yisarucha, Tigan Heber Reglecha. Hashacha B'fesel B'tirder, Timas K'tir Sana. Kivi Chosha B'apateu, Asaveu Ki Yodesh Shmi. Eni Beneu, Ima Lech Mitzora, Achatzeu Achateu. Oerich Yam Asbieyu, Yareyu Vishuasi. Now please turn to Kapitel Kuf Yud, which incidentally talks about Avraham Avinu, so it's very apropos to talk about it, to say this kapitel, this is the Rebbe's kapitel. With David Mizmar, Leom Adonai, Ladaini, Shev Limini, Ad Oshes Eivecha, Hadem G'Raglecha, Matei Uskor, Yishlach Adonai Mitziyah, L'dei B'kerev Eivecha, Amcha L'davis, B'yayim Chaylecha, V'hadari Kaidesh, V'recha Mishkor, V'chot Tal Yaltu Secha, Mishpa Adonai B'lei Yinochem, Ad Echayim Oilam, Ad Rossi Malki Tzedek, Adonai Al Yemincha, Mochas B'yem Apei Molochem, Yodim V'agayim Molek Vias, Mochas Reish, Averetz Rabba, V'dacha Vosh Terech Yishte, Akain Yodim Reish. Just to be Yitzhak for people that are here, I came to Lubavitch Yeshiva in 1961 as a Rebbe in the second year of the Mesivta. And my next door neighbor was Rabbi Garfinkel. I taught there for a number of years. Then I went over together with him when we moved from Bedford and Dean, which was Bedford-Stuyvesant, to the Lubavitch Yeshiva on Ocean Parkway. And all I can say is the Talmidim that he had during the approximately 50 years where he dedicated himself to education, all have a good word to say about him. I hate to say this in public, but many times, Rebbes, sometimes certain Talmidim weren't happy, they weren't successful in their class, whatever it was. I never came across of a Talmud that had a complaint about Rabbi Garfinkel. If he was in his class as a student, or if he was taught bar mitzvah lessons by him, prepared for the bar mitzvah, was it a mimer, was it a speech, was it a bilbo, whatever it was, everybody had a good word about Rabbi Garfinkel. Proof of the fact there are many Talmidim that learned by him 40 years ago, 50 years ago. And an amazing thing took place last year. The amazing thing was that there's a shtibel in Crown Heights known as the Empire Shtibel. It wasn't a Lubavitcher shul, a famous popular shtibel, but today it's mostly, I'd say, Lubavitcher Chassidim. And over there the custom is that every year on Yutas Kislev, they make a big verbrengen. And they look for someone to come to speak, to share some thoughts on the time or the period or the event. Someone came up with an idea last year, let's invite Rabbi Garfinkel. He was already, you can understand, according to age, take off 1 year and you can understand his age. No one would believe that he would accept the invitation, and no one believed that he had the koyach to come to do it. And he came to the event, and the place was packed, jam-packed, unbelievable. They attract a crowd when those was the Mispalim that come from all over Crown Heights. People heard Rabbi Garfinkel was coming there. It was amazing. Students went up to him, Rebbe, my name is so-and-so, and he remembered the name. Once somebody asked, how was your mother, how was your father? He remembered the students. The students were a part and parcel of his life. And to say, Talmidim Habe, which we're told to do in Pirkei Avos, many people aren't zeicha to that. But here is one individual who was zeicha to the Talmidim Habe. And the Kapitel Tilim that we just read now, which we call the Rebbe's Kapitel because it corresponds to the Rebbe's age, so over there it talks about Avraham Avinu, and the Eibusha says to Avraham Avinu, that's what the pshat in the pasuk is, Nishba Hashem lo yinachem, Hashem swore without any regrets, Ata Kayim l'Olam, you will be a Kayim forever. And that's the whole story with Malkitzedek of Shem, with how Avraham Avinu took over and became a Kayim Gadol. And I can tell you that when somebody dedicates his life to chinuch and raising zaidys of Talmidim, he lives forever, because his students told their students about the Rebbe, Rabbi Garfinkel, that they once learned by, and the stories that he told them, or the nigunim that he taught them, or the Gemara that he taught them, or about the stencils that he used to give out. All the different activities are remembered and transmitted from generation to generation. And now we could say that Avraham Yitzchak, Ata Kayin L'Olam, you are in service of Hashem forever, wherever you will be. And talking about Avraham, let me just say one word to the family. The first burial or death of a Jewish member of a Jewish family is the story with Chayesara. And there's a very interesting pasuk where Avraham comes to Bnei Chais and he pleads with them, he begs with them, I need a place to bury my wife. Tanuli, give me achuzas keva, an everlasting burial place, imacham among you. And I always wondered, there seems to be a superfluous word. One word, we could have done without it also. It doesn't seem to add anything. Tanuli, achuzas keva, I need a place where to bury my wife. What is the emphasis, imacham among you? And perhaps the pshat may be that Avraham Avinu was concerned. He knew that he and his wife Sarah were the propagators of a new way and approach of service of Hashem. And he was afraid that maybe once his wife will no longer be here, he will not be here anymore, what will happen is people forget about him. And they'll forget everything that he stood for, and they'll forget everything that he taught, and everything that he tried to transmit. All these things will be forgotten. So Avraham said, I want two things from you, not one thing. I need a physical place where to bury my wife, but more than that, I want achuzas keva imacham. I want to be buried not just in the ground over here, but imacham among you. Carry me in your hearts, carry me in your mind. Think about what I represented and what I would like things to go on in that way. The kvura, if you ask anyone, is in Eretz Yisrael. That's why we got together here tonight. But I say to the family, it's not just in Eretz Yisrael, that's the physical. The main thing is, it should be imochem, carry in your mind, and dedicate yourself in time to think about how would Zaidi like it? How would father or Abba, how would, to all the Talmidim that he had, Talmidim, Hareim Kabonim, I say to you also, it should be imochem, carry what Rabbi Garfinkel taught you, in you, and with you forever. And just like the Ata Kayin L'Olam, he will be a Kayin forever, he will forever be mispalel for the welfare of the family, the children, the grandchildren, and all the Talmidim that he